Hi, everybody. Welcome to second grade.
Hi, everybody. We're so excited for the year.
I'm Miss Julie.
And I'm Miss Sharp.
And we're going to be your teachers this year.
So this year we decided that it would be easiest for if we went ahead and purchased all of the school supplies that your child will need for the year, did a big Amazon order, and everything your child will need for the year except for community supplies will be in the classroom when you come for your meet and greet. We're asking $40 for these supplies. So whenever you come, if you could bring a check or a cash, that would be great.
So talking about what our schedule is going to look like, we're going to start morning meeting daily at 8:30, and we'd really like your child to be there every day. We know sometimes things happen, but this gives us time to meet with them individually or in small groups throughout the day to really address their learning needs.
And we've been asked as teachers to follow as close to a typical school schedule as possible, and so that will help the transition back to school whenever we get back here all together. That will help us transition more easily during the school day.
So here's an example of what we're expecting the schedule to look like. Things might change, but just know that we're going to start with math after morning meeting. Any item that you see that has an asterisk on it is typically when we're going to be meeting with small groups on Zoom. So we're really expecting your child to be there. The other ones are things that might be recorded previously that you can watch and do. It's suggested at this time, but you can really do it more on your own schedule.
Yeah, it's more of our independent work time. And like for math, your child will be in a small math group most days each week, and the same for reading. And once we have done all of our assessments, we will be able to figure out what days your child's reading and math groups will be so that you can plan a little bit more specifically. So at CFCI, we use Eureka Math all the way from kindergarten through 8th grade. Just like in our classroom, we use a workshop model, and we're going to really try to do that in this remote setting as well. So each day for math, your child will be working on a variety of activities. They might be on Zooming with us or a teaching assistant. They might be watching a recorded lesson and working in their math workbook. They might be working on Zern or playing some sort of math game with you all at home. Our first trimester units are below, but we start with addition and subtraction to 100 and really focus on place value at the very beginning of the year.
So Zern, if you have not used it before, is an educational site. Our school this year has purchased the school account so that we can more individually track your child's progress. Lisa can talk a little bit more about how we're going to use this information to really guide our instruction.
Yeah, so Julie and I watched a webinar the other day, and it really enforced this idea. We've been in a pandemic for months now, and we realized that while we did remote learning last year, there may be some gaps. Zern suggests that everyone begin with a first grade assessment, just so we can see where they are, if they've mastered those concepts or not, and then that assessment will help guide our instruction in small group. And something that's really kind of important, as a parent, I know you want to jump in and you want to help your child as much as possible. When they're on Zearn, it is okay to help them, or not to let them struggle just a little bit, because on our teacher dashboard, we can see how long they spent on the lessons and activities, and if they're struggling. So it's okay to help sometimes, but the more independently they work, the more we can see.
Our reading block is going to be in the afternoons. During this time, students might be at home reading independently a book of their choice. They might be meeting with one of us in a small group. They might be meeting with an interventionist or a TA to work independently. A lot of things can happen, but really in second grade, the big thing to know about reading is that second graders are really moving from learning how to read to reading to learn. And so there's 3/4 big concepts here in this. It's comprehension, which is, are they understanding what they read? Does it make sense to them? Fluency is how quickly, the speed at which they're reading, and the accuracy rate of, are they saying the right words at the right time? And then vocabulary, building their understanding of these new big words. And that's, all of those are things that we're going to focus on during that block. Some accounts that we've used, that we've acquired for this reading block is Amplify is a paid account that we have access to, which levels students off of where they are and helps them build reading skills, whether it's phonics or comprehension or things like synonyms and antonyms. It really helps them to solidify those understandings. Epic is a free site. It is only free on school days during school hours. So you might get a message at 3:30 saying, contact your child's teacher, because that site's no longer free after that time. Each class will have a class code for students to log in, and we'll go through all of this with them.
So in the classroom, each day we do a literacy center block, and the kids are just rotating through a variety of different literacy activities. They're more hands-on, and kids typically really enjoy these types of things. And so each week they'll have word work where we focus on spelling patterns, and they'll do a variety of activities through that. We'll read poetry and respond. Readers Theater is participating in plays together. We'll have to do it through Zoom this year. Handwriting in second grade, we really try to help them learn correct letter format if they're not there yet. Some of them are. And then we do a lot of writing during that time, whether it's journaling or response to a prompt or a picture. And then our plan is to embed how-to videos into our weekly plan so they can see what is expected of them.
So in Writer's Workshop for second grade and third grade also, we really try to work on developing the writing process with them. So taking an idea for a story all the way through to publishing it. This will come to your child in pre-recorded videos, much like this, and they'll get the ideas of what to do and what's expected, and then be able to have the time to work independently on their own to try it out. Our first unit's going to work on personal narratives, which is stories about us.
All right, so for science and social studies, our first unit, we're going to begin a unit on matter, solids, liquids, and gases, and the properties of those. It's a pretty short unit, and then that will lead us into a longer unit on weather. As it says here in class, we really do try, this is the time where we really try to provide a lot of hands-on experiences, observations, videos, experiments, did I say that? And partner projects or independent projects. So we're really going to try to do some of those same things at home as well.
So you might need a variety of strange household items like paper plates or streamers, scrap paper, popsicle sticks, things that they can use to help them build weather tools is where we'll focus more in that. So start thinking about saving some of those items and setting them aside. Empty 2-liter bottles, things like that. So for second grade, your child will be receiving a Chromebook when they come to school. Their Chromebook login and their Google Classroom login are the same, with the exception that in the Chromebooks, they've already got the @cfci.net entered in for you, so they don't have to do that. Our IT department is working on getting PowerSchool numbers together, and we will send those out to you as soon as we get them. For your child's Google Classroom, they'll see a banner similar to this with underneath their lists of tasks for the day or week.
So Miss Julie is super fun and creative, and so she has, these are some of the learning platforms that we will use this year. Zern and Amplify, your child will be on mostly every day. BrainPop Junior has a lot of really cute videos that focus on science and social studies concepts and more. And then Math Playground is a really great site. There are so many games that help teach so many different skills or practice so many different skills. These are just some of the learning platforms that your child will be using, and this will be on our Google Classroom with links embedded so that they can just click and go. So our first few weeks together, just like in the classroom, we're going to be setting up routines and expectations and getting comfortable with all of the technology platforms that we're going to be using and building our community. Those are the most important. Building our community is what is most important for us as teachers.
In the first 6 weeks of school.
Yeah. And this typically just involves Miss Julie and I and our kids, but our community is much larger this year. We know that your children are home with you or caregivers or maybe in daycare. And so we're all going to have to really work together as a team and create that community. We can't do this without you. Here we go.
Keep going.
All right.
You're doing
great. So we did this last year, kind of in more emergency mode. And the first few weeks really are the hardest, but the first few weeks of school really are the hardest. It does get better. One thing to remember is children kind of feed off of how we're feeling. So if you are positive about this experience and upbeat, then they probably will be as well. Some things to keep in mind. Try to set up a dedicated workspace for your child with all of their class supplies. And when they come to you, say, we are going to be giving you their binder that is already organized and set up and a box of all of the supplies that they will need. So we've tried to make it easy for you. We just need you at home to set up a space where they can work every day. Establish a routine if you can and stick to the daily schedule if possible. The one that we shared, and really try to encourage them to come to morning meeting every day, if at all possible. When your child is not doing schoolwork, in the morning we've built in a break, and at the end of the school day, of course, or maybe during lunchtime, encourage them to go outside and play or just take a walk or and not do screen time activities. Maybe they like to do art, because while remote learning isn't always on a screen, we realize that a lot of times it is. Work closely with your child in the beginning, and then just kind of slowly release those reins. We found by the end of remote learning last year, the kids really were navigating and working independently. And If there is a concern, please communicate that early. We can't fix what we don't know. And your child has access to us. They can email us from their own Chromebook. They have their own email account.
We'll go over proper email etiquette in our writing lessons too.
Yes, that's important.
So part of their reading block is some independent reading time. We ask for 15 minutes a day, but 20 minutes would really be ideal. And this is just a graphic to kind of explain why and what the difference of the amount of text that they're reading each day compared to if they're not at all. And then Ms. Sharp and I will be your primary teachers. Ms. Sharp also has an intern this year, Ms. Cherry, and along with Ms. Fight, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Cole, and Ms. Kelly, we are all here to help you and your child be successful.
So we are going to, right now, unless something changes, we're going to try to hold office hours from 2:30 to 3:30 every day. That means we are going to be on our email and available for a quick response. But if that doesn't work, please feel free to email us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. You check your child's email account and their Google Classroom every couple of days if you're not working right with them, so that you can make sure that they are keeping up. And we will be reaching out if we notice that someone isn't coming to morning meeting regularly or they've missed their math group a couple days in a row. We're going to be reaching out to you guys and just making sure everything is okay. We're excited about the year. Can't wait to meet you all Tuesday and Wednesday. And I think that's it. Bye.
Bye.